Yes.
You were just talking here about how mind is neutral and how memories affect our mind. So my question is that does that mean that our past affects our journey to truth?
And probably I did not understand your question properly. Did I say our mind is neutral, or maybe I said it is pure in itself, natural in itself?
Yeah, it's pure.
Okay.
It's pure in itself, right?
Okay.
So in that case, does my past affect my journey to truth, towards going more closer to myself?
No, it does not. But your visits to the past will affect. Try to see. You are here. We all are all the time in the present moment. There is no way to leave this position. Here and now is not an option. You don't need to do anything about it. You need to stop doing so that you can see where you are. Okay? So we are all the time in present, because there is no time really. As long as this experience is concerned, you are always here. There is no life, I mean. There is no life that is happening anywhere else. Life always happening now. This is the only access point. This is the only gate to access life. So we are here. So past will not give you trouble here. What we do is we go in the mind. So you go to the memory. Memory does not come to you. So past cannot disturb you. You can go to the past and experience absence from this life, which gives you all the troubles. The only problem, leaving this moment. Only solution, checking where I am lost. Did I? Is this what you wanted to ask or something?
I think I did not frame my question
Yeah. Okay.
correct.
Okay.
What I wanted to ask is that you just gave an example that whether I want to write a poetry or whether I want to paint, okay, it comes from the mind.
No, it doesn't come from the mind. It cannot come from the mind. So don't leave it on the mind. This kind of decisions cannot be given to mind. Mind is not able to decide anything like this. So you have to feel and decide. But we are misusing our mind, giving these things to the mind, and then later on facing the consequences of it. Because mind continuously have limited view. Its only source of knowledge is data. And data, as we all know, information, as we all know, is so much inaccurate, almost always inaccurate. Because it is like a pot in which you are putting all the vegetables, all the spices, all the oils and everything else, and it's like on slow fire you are doing like this. Now you cannot expect exactly what is going to come out of it, because this information comes from so many different sources, meaning from people who have known anything, who have seen anything sometime, and they try to convert their experience into words. Already very difficult. So only 10-20% of that actuality comes in the words, in their mind. Now that comes from their mind to your mind. Now it remains 1 or 2%. So data is almost always inaccurate, and mind is based only on data, isn't it? Then, but these are very simple things. You wanted to say something?
I have a question.
Oh yeah.
Regarding, you mentioned before to sit and with eyes closed say, I see it. What are you referring to when I see it?
I mean, it is just a reminder for yourself. Let's say we do it now. Okay. You will be seeing something, few things. In the beginning, that's how it is. Until one falls into silence, something is moving somewhere. and it is mostly aggressively moving. It's not like moving in harmony or something. You know, it's like a trouble or something like this, different energies. And when you close your eyes, you are able to see. It is normal. But we tend to forget that we are able to see. So it is, I am proposing that be aware that you are aware.
It seemed like you highlighted something there where problem being like not being still and just seeing. Like it's
In the movie?
The confusion is I'm usually not still, or my attention isn't still, so that I'm not just seeing because there's this movement.
Hmm.
Regarding what she was saying about like giving the idea to the mind of should I paint or do music or something. Instead of that, for me, I can relate like when that desire arose and then I went to the mind for, should I? And then it gave me a bunch of data that says, oh no, I can't do that. Versus just go do that and just see, one, that there was an inclination like, I should go to mind and find out if that's okay, because that seems like that's what the mind is, this collection of like it's some authority to tell me what I should and shouldn't do, and how would it know? I mean, how could it be an authority for what I should or shouldn't do, per se, other than see it for myself, being still and just doing it?
I mean, I know it's a little complex situation, but all the complexities are mainly because of the lack of light. I mean, it looks very reasonable to find solutions for the problems that we have inside, that we face inside. It looks very practical and everybody is also doing it. But if you ask me, it is not the right thing to do. It is okay to do your move your keep moving with the life as far as normal daily routine is concerned, no problem. Put your life on autopilot, mechanical way, doesn't matter. But if it is related to you, for example, what you want in your life, whether you are happy or not, or anything which is fundamental, any fundamental problem, I would say first bring in the light. And what is wrong? Why we find it so difficult to bring in the light? And such a simple thing, I am saying right now we are sitting, let us close our eyes and see why we are not able to see, and why we are finding so many reasons to ask so many different difficult questions. Why we cannot do this simple thing? There are different reasons. One is like a reflex, a kind of mechanical habit which has become almost natural for us to live like this. Never looking here, always looking here. This is one of the reasons. Another, the darkness, which is not a physical darkness, it is more psychological darkness, energetic darkness, which has life in itself. It has a natural tendency to hide from dark light. It has tendency to save itself, because light is death. And you, the light, has fallen in love. You, the light, the consciousness, has fallen in love with the darkness, and you start calling it yourself. And the attention tends to follow your natural unconscious desires, then this desire to know and bring in the light. But I want to remind you, nothing will help. Only bringing in the light will help. Even if you can bring very little bit of light, it will do miracles for you compared to doing any therapies, doing any meditation techniques and anything else. Because to be free from problems of life, you are required, not the techniques. I mean, you have to check how much you are available in anything which you are doing. If you are totally available, then anyway you don't need anything to do. because you, as a whole, you are so huge, so vast, so energetic, that even if lot of energy is required in any activity that you are doing in that moment, almost all of your energy remains unused, which is light itself, which will enlighten the whole view, whole path where you are walking. But until this happens, let's bring in the light. And sometimes it is not simply easy to just see. I mean, my invitation is that check what you call yourself, who you are. This is the direct technique. But when it is not possible, when it becomes too difficult and lot of restlessness comes out, let us do it gradually. Just see. Just see. Whenever you have time. And as you see, you wake up. It's not that what do you see. What you see is not important. It is important that you see. And as you see, continue seeing, you wake up. And as you wake up, it is not that after that you have to solve the problems. You don't find problems. Because you are light and darkness is not found. Light does not never seen darkness. That's how it is. So in a kind of indirect way, I am trying to wake you.